Panthers are back on ice to finish up their season. It's been a major improvement, with both young Panthers improving their games and veterans contributing and leading the way. Tonight, they can get a measure of revenge against the team that, in effect, ended the Panthers' playoff aspirations. The Panthers can now put a big dent in the Bruins' postseason plans. Boston is back to face the Cats next on Fox Sports Florida. From the Cats home, the BB&T Center. Panthers hockey is on the air, and tonight the Panthers play their second to last game of the season. It's a game the Boston Bruins need to win, as they are in a points tie with Ottawa for the final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. The Panthers will try to finish strong. Another battle with the Bruins is on tap tonight. Hi, everybody. Steve Goldstein along with the Hall of Famer Denny Potvin, Drew Goldfarb, Bill Lindsay as well. And Denny, for the Panthers, unfortunately on the outside, looking in this playoff race, they can ruin the Bruins' plans. And one particular Panther, Brandon Pirri, with Nick Bjugstad out of the lineup, actually has a chance to finish with a team leading goals.
Well, wouldn't that be something? Brandon Pirri's got 22 goals on the season so far. We fully expect that won't stop. And, of course, 24 for Nick Bjugstad, who's been out for a while, but I think it's a wise move by him to have surgery and get ready for next season. For Brandon Pirri, it's been an interesting ride, folks. In a very short period of time, a lot has happened here in South Florida. The first 4 games of the season, Brandon Pirri was a healthy scratch, if you can imagine. Then he came back and started scoring goals, started feeling good, and he tells Goldie in an interview, he says, "I've been practicing my shot." Well, it certainly has worked for Brandon Pirri, now with 22 goals, and he is one of those guys that we feel will continue that trend. He is that good.
And for Coach Gerard Gallant, he says Brandon Pirri has earned the ice time he's gotten this season.
If I would have been a smart coach, he would have been playing right from day one, but, he comes in the lineup, and that's what you tell all your young players. Make me play you. Don't let me take you into your lineup, and Pirri's done that for most games, so he's been really good. The only time he came out really was when he had some injuries, so he's been a hot scorer, and, he's still got to get better. He's still got to get stronger. He's still got to get quicker, but he's a goal scorer, and that's what you like to see, but he's got to play a complete game every night, and he'll get better.
Pretty astute comments by Coach Gerard Gallant. I want you to focus on one thing in particular, as I have, and a lot of us have. Gerard Gallant, first year with his hockey team. In the early part of the season, he was learning what his players could give him as well, putting lines together, knowing that 75% of the teams that make the playoffs are already in a playoff position by Thanksgiving. They will have a head start next year with Gerard Gallant, same coaching staff, and many of the same players. Lots to look forward to.
Yeah, it could be a big difference. Yeah. Great point, Denny. Hey, this season series has been outstanding. They played 3 times. 2 have gone to overtime. The other one a regulation game. All been 1-goal games.
I was reading a little bit of the news of the Boston Bruins and talking about how they've had an inconsistent season, and boy, have they ever. And one of the reasons is because they were losing tight games. Well, they didn't lose to the Florida Panthers too often in tight games. The same argument for the Florida Panthers. Maybe that's why these two teams for a long time were battling for the last playoff position in the East. The fact that a 1-goal loss is just like a 3-goal loss. But the Florida Panthers, again, will look to improve on that next season. And the Boston Bruins, not yet in the playoffs, are looking at many of their 1-goal losses as a reason why they're battling for their lives right now.
And that last one you saw on the screen still stings. The Bruins are getting that late goal from Milan Lucic. Lexus has our keys to the game. What are you looking for from the Panthers tonight, Denny?
I don't like the talk about the fact that there's nothing to play for. I just don't like that. What I do like is the fact that the Florida Panthers are professional hockey players who want to have fun. How did they have fun this year? They showed speed. Speed off the rush, scoring goals off the rush. It's a wonderful way to play hockey, and the Panthers can do that, so I expect to see it. On the other side of the puck, you call it the defensive side of the puck. What is it that you most need? You need tenacity to take the puck away from the opponent and then turn it up ice with speed and start your offense. So let's focus on speed and tenacity. We'll try and show you the Panthers reaching both those keys as this game goes on.
Roberto Luongo goes for his 401st NHL win. And for the Panthers, Aaron Ekblad has had a sensational rookie season with 12 goals from the blue line. Boston is trying to transition to youth. Drew Goldfarb and Bill Lindsay are up next with a closer look as we get set for face-off. Panthers hockey on Fox Sports Florida is brought to you by your South Florida Lexus dealers. Proud sponsor of the Lexus Rink at the BB&T Center. By ADT, the most trusted name in security. Call 1-800-510-9067 for your free ADT quote. And by Subway. Visit Subway.com. Subway. Skate hard. Eat fresh. Back in the BB&T Center, the Panthers get set to take on the Bruins. We go inside at the Miami Brewing Company Beer Garden. Drew and Billy with an eye on some young players tonight.
Goldie, thank you very much. Yes, tonight's Cleveland Clinic of Florida players to watch. So young, they couldn't partake in the Miami Brewing Company Beer Garden, but they are still oh so skilled.
Very skilled, talented young group for the Florida Panthers. Aaron Ekblad leading the charge all season long from the back end. What a sensational rookie season. Had a goal last game against Montreal. It was his first goal in 16 games, but he's not to be deterred. He's getting it done at both ends of the rink. His plus 11 leads the Florida Panthers. And for the Boston Bruins, Ryan Spooner, a rookie, and he has lit the lamp. They've actually been led by a couple of rookies of late. Spooner's been on fire, and David Pastrnak, the youngest player in the NHL at 18 years old in 10 months, getting it done. He was the 23rd overall pick in last year's draft, and he seems to be a gem, putting the puck in the net. And those two players have actually allowed Boston to stay in this playoff race. Huge game for Boston tonight. They're in the mix with three other teams. They need this win.
And those are three of the young guys, but there are actually 19 players between these two teams, 25 years old or younger. It's amazing how young these two squads are.
You would expect that for the Panthers as they're trying to rebuild. You're going to see that's going to be the nucleus for the Florida Panthers. A long, long time, a lot to build around. And for Boston, you would think of them as an older team, but it's their younger players that are getting it done, and their playoff hopes might hinge on that youth movement and Boston doing some damage here in the last couple of games.
And as the Boston Bruins and the Florida Panthers square off tonight here at the BB&T Center, the young guns are on display.
I'm Aaron Ekblad.
He waits cross ice, man in front, score! Aaron Ekblad! The 18-year-old beats the 42-year-old!
Real Panthers fans watch Fox Sports Florida.
Welcome inside, everybody, the BB&T Center. We are set for hockey as the Panthers take on the Boston Bruins. And Roberto Luongo, before the game, was presented with a nice award from the team. A silver stick for his 400th win. Going for 401 tonight and trying to tie Chris Osgood for 10th all-time on the goaltending wins list.
Ho-hum, another award for Roberto Luongo, but you know what? Tonight really belongs to Chris Moody. There he's the equipment manager. 1,000th game in the National Hockey League tonight. The players had hats made with Moods, MOODS on the back of it. I sent him a text. I said, I've got to have one of those, brother. So I'm expecting to see him after the game. Chris Moody, I tell you what, they do an incredible job for the players, and just that tribute gives you an example how much they appreciate their work.
Huge game for Boston. Tuukka Rask back in the goal. The Bruins got to South Florida around 3 a.m. last night after a 3-0 loss to Washington. What a scramble in the Eastern Conference with just a few days to go and a couple of games left. Only 4 teams. There's 8 spots. Only 4 teams have clinched so far. And Boston needs this one. Ottawa will play the Rangers tonight. Willie Mitchell paired up with Goodbranson. And the Barkov line is on. Jaromir Jagr tying for 11th all-time in games played with the game tonight. Jamming up Alex Delvecchio. It's game number 1,549 for the great Jaromir Jagr. Here comes Eriksson with a shot that goes wide. And Kulikov back on D for the Panthers. They try to complete the full change. Kulikov throws it out to center. Here comes David Bolin. The drop for Boyes. Throws one wide of Rask's net. Jokinen on this line as well with the veterans Bolin and Boyes. And this puck chips and goes up and out of play. BB&T has our goaltending matchup tonight.
Well, the visiting goaltender, Tuukka Rask, he's playing a lot of games. He's played in the last 10 games, but twice he was pulled having tough times. This team is not giving him a lot of goal support. Well, probably I should say the same thing for Roberto Luongo, particularly in the series against the Boston Bruins. Luongo has the win against the Bruins, the only win that they've had, but has not had the goal support. So one cannot expect a lot of scoring tonight. Or then again, maybe it will happen. Who knows?
You never know. The Bruins right now tied for that final spot. Pittsburgh, boy, oh boy, what's happened to the Penguins? They need to get a point at least or a win here in the final couple of games.
The Islanders would like to get themselves going a little bit as well.
Baptist Health has our scratches tonight. Stephen Kampfer and Thomas Kopetsky are the two healthy Panthers not in the lineup. And, of course, Nick Bjugstad still out. The Panthers did send Dan Ellis back down to the AHL today. Al Montoya is back as the backup goaltender. Trotman. Save, rebound, Talbot once and twice, and Roberto Luongo with a big glove save with Max Talbot right on the doorstep.
I mean, you've got to learn from these plays as you go along. The idea of a defenseman is that he needs to be defending. Basically, he has to be between the opponent and his net. You see where Kulikov there got a bit of a late start. He lost sight of Talbot from the faceoff. That's why he lost him, and Talbot had a chance at a couple of whacks on goal. You've got to get your man isolated and focused on before the puck is dropped.
Talbot, one of those players they picked up at the trade deadline, played 16 games, does not have a goal yet, only 3 assists in that span.
How about that? Boston Bruins picking up another good defensive player.
Here comes Brandon Peary firing out of the zone, but it's deflected, and Talbot will put it back down low. Talbot's been around, of course, highlight of his career when he was the goal scorer as the Penguins won that Stanley Cup against Detroit, in Detroit.
To 2009, right? Long time ago, but Pittsburgh Penguins are looking for a little magic right now.
Kenzie with a good hit there on Spooner.
You know how it is, Goldie, with the media. So I'm reading in the Pittsburgh media that might be interested in trying to make a trade for Malkin over the summer.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard that before over the years. You know, that's why the Pittsburgh Penguins are the franchise they are. I mean, you just don't trade them out. If someone knocks your socks off with a deal, anybody is tradable, but you'll have 29 general managers on the speed dial, I would think, if you want to get rid of that.
Well, deals like that don't happen a lot, but they do happen. You think of Tyler Seguin, Jamie Benn, you think of Boychuk Leddy, you think of Niskanen in Washington. You know, these are top-notch NHLers being traded.
Penalty here on the Panthers. Bergeron on a delayed call, and it deflects wide. And the Panthers going to put themselves in trouble here early on with Barkov going off for a trip.
Well, maybe you read too much of the statistics and figure they don't have a great power play going right now. There's a tripping call being made by Chris Lee, the referee. Not much doubt about that. You've got to be in control of your hockey stick. The Florida Panthers pretty well on the penalty killing. The Bruins 1 for 15 on the power play in the last 6 games.
Spooner setting up. They've got Krug as the defenseman over on that far side. He can shoot the puck. Double digits in goals for the D-man. Great play there by Willie Mitchell. He read it beautifully.
Panthers would love to spoil the playoff chances of the Boston Bruins after Boston kind of did that to the Panthers back on March 31st, so a little payback would be nice.
Bergeron is in. The shot deflects wide. Yeah, you got to feel like the Panthers feel they owe him one. Boy, that second intermission in Boston a week and a half ago, it felt like the Panthers were going to get that win and close within 2 points of that spot. Boston, of course, scored 2 in the third. Spooner fires. Big save by Luongo. Krejci puts it back down low. Eriksson goes down. Spooner able to play the puck. Bruins with full puck possession here on the man advantage. Krug goes for Krejci. And Spooner one-timer.
Well, that hurt Mitchell a little bit. He took that shot in one of the legs, I believe.
Krug again, straight on. Krejci calls for the puck and gets the pass. Out in front for Bergeron. Good stick by McKenzie. Krejci holding. Still holding, shooting. It's blocked by Goodbranson. Carries right back to Krug. And Krejci's on it one more time. Eriksson out in front. Trying for the screen. Here's Krug with a one-timer, deflected well wide. Spooner plays the big carom. Krug again with a shot. Good save by Luongo through all kinds of traffic. And then Upshaw chops it to the point, but it's held in again. Krejci fires away, hit his own man, Eriksson in front. Goodbranson poked off his stick. Two aside battling. Goodbranson trying to just pin it to the wall. It carries. The Barkov penalty's over. He's out of the box. Krug cuts in front, trying to stuff it home. And Luongo off to a strong start. Keeps us scoreless.
You know, you talk about guys that think defensively, and they're really happy about all of that. I talked to Goodbranson today, and I asked him, I said, you know, next year you shoot the puck a little more, maybe get it. He says, I'm not concerned at all about goals. He says, I'm concerned about goals against only. And here's a defensive defenseman who wants to make his job show up in the stat sheets as a plus player every game and not be on the ice for goals against. Did a good job with Mitchell killing that penalty. Never able to get out of their zone, but never really giving the Boston Bruins a terrific opportunity.
Chara shoots. That goes wide. So a spirited start as expected. This Boston team, half the team was here when they won the Cup a few years ago. And as Panther fans know all too well, they're not going to go down quietly. Here comes Peary. On the back check, it's stolen away by Kelly. Race is on. And Petrovic got there first. Connolly bangs with Kulikov. Stick goes flying in the air. That belongs to Soderberg as Trocheck glides in. Trocheck has a chance. Rask may have gotten a piece of it. Trocheck feeds Hayes. Sharp angle shot. And Rask made that save right on his goal line.
Boy, 18 goals for Hayes. Another guy that Gerard Gallant would not have expected to have contributed so much offensively. And again, coaching staff first year, a lot of players they didn't really know a lot about. Going to be a different training camp next season.
Pasternak in front, the drop pass, the shot, and Luongo stops Lucic. Off a turnover, the Bruins had a great chance. What a start tonight to this game by Luongo. Now getting back to Hayes, how does Jimmy Hayes get more consistent next season for the full year?
Well, you know, you got to learn to hate to being scratched. And right, you know, we documented that several times. Coach Gallant, rather than yell at the guy or talk to him in a terse fashion, he would just sit a player out. And it didn't only happen with Jimmy Hayes, but we saw it with Brad Boyes, we saw it with Upshaw. Sort of a motivator, you know. No one can better say you're not playing well than a quiet dressing room and you're not following the team out to the ice.
So the Bruins with the advantage here in the opening 7 minutes. Luongo's been strong. Jágr now on the ice, takes it away from Marchand. And Brian Campbell gives to Huberdeau. Huberdeau's gone over the last about quarter of the season at a point a game, a remarkable pace. Smith puts it out towards the front of the net. Marchand throws it in the slot.
And Goldie, I have one answer for you on Jimmy Hayes. He's got to be more of a factor when he's not scoring goals. If he wants to stay in the lineup defensively, hitting, doing all the little things, he's got to get better in those areas of the game.
And when he makes his way to the front of the net, he's such a presence there. Tough guy to move out. Krejci in the offensive zone. Spins it up to the point for Trutman, and the wrist shot. Luongo, another save. Huberdeau gathers it in and gets it out to center. Here comes Barkov with Jágr. Jágr shoots up high over the net. And Chara feeds Smith. Cleared out to center. So Luongo with a big start tonight here in the opening part of this first period. Bolin turns it over at the Boston line.
Now, most of those shots he faced, the 10 shots, have been during the power play.
Connolly, a dangerous hit on Goodbranson. And good for Brad Boyes jumping in to protect Goodbranson. Connolly is going to go off for a penalty. Hopefully Goodbranson is okay. You see him there trying to shake it off. So the Panther power play will be coming up. Hopefully Goodbranson. It looks like he's okay. Roberto Luongo, better than okay. Billy, hopefully Goodbranson is okay. Talking to trainer Dave Zanobi after that hit.
Dangerous hit by Brett Connolly from behind. When you see those numbers, you got to be able to pull up. Eric Goodbranson hopefully is no worse for the wear. The Panthers will get a chance on the power play, but this is a no-no. Connolly sees the numbers and just does not hold up. Punishes Goodbranson from behind. A dirty and a dangerous play. Only 2 minutes for roughing. That's a play that could maybe have warranted more than a couple of minutes, but Goodbranson gets up and gets back after it, and you know he's not going to back down from anyone. One of the toughest customers on the Panthers, and he's going to take no business from Brett Connolly.
Well, I agree with you 100%, Billy, that, take the point. If that's the other way, if that's Goodbranson hitting Connolly, to me, there's no question it winds up being a penalty, and a more of a penalty. Now, after the scrum, you see a couple more in the box there.
Yeah, there's going to be a little extra for the Boston Bruins.
So he did get a boarding as well? Okay, and Boy's got a penalty as well for the Panthers for jumping in afterwards.
Right, exactly. So what you have for the Boston Bruins, they've got it wrong there. Okay, they've got Pasternak serving the minor.
Yeah, he's serving the extra one. So here we go, Panther power play for the first time. Trying to get the lead against Tuukka Rask and the Bruins. Been an exciting start to this game, maybe too much so, with the Panthers already allowing the 10 shots on goal.
Well, my neck's a little, sort of hurting. All I've been looking at is towards my right, which is the Florida Panthers zone. Of course, putting the penalty, they did a good job, but they didn't get the puck out. Goalie, you were talking a little bit about the importance of the game and how the Panthers can play spoilers. Well, I tell you what, there's one team out there that's showing they don't care very much about this Boston Bruin team either. Take a look at the guys that are out of the lineup tonight for the New York Rangers. They're hosting the Ottawa Senators. I mean, you've got Nash, you've got Klein, you've got Zuccarello. I mean, you've got about 5 of their top players out of the lineup tonight, giving them all little rest. Nash, Zuccarello, Mark Stahl on defense, Kevin Klein. Of course, they have won the President's Trophy. I suspect that they deserve to rest some of their players.
That's the luxury you have when you finish first overall. You clinch it. You can have that couple of knees rest for some of your star players, and who knows? Everyone's playing nicked up at this time of year. If you're not playing nicked up, then something is wrong. So a couple extra days rest never hurts.
Yeah, well deserved. Have to throw Ron Greshner in the lineup for scratch one more demon. Campbell, now they're set up here. Here's Peary. Huberdeau's out in front of the net. Campbell will shoot. Oh, what a save by Rask. Just got a piece of it. Huberdeau. Up high, Peary. Yager calling for the puck. He's got it now. Yager in front. Barkov deflected off the outside of the net. Yager for Huberdeau. And back again. They set up Peary. Moving and shooting. It's blocked. Peary again. It's blocked again.
They're all diving in front of Peary's shot.
Barkov. Peary again. That's deflected up and over the net, and they'll say it went out of play as it hit the netting.
Well, I tell you what, we talked about Talbot having been acquired at the trade deadline. I mean, he is a wonderful defensive player, and that's what he's going to be. But Talbot was all over Peary and blocking his shots as best he could. Take a look. There's Peary trying to get a little white ice. Look at Talbot coming over. I mean, this is a long before. Anyway, that was Krejci on that particular play. 25 was Talbot on the other side. But you can see a little bit of watching video. They're not going to let him shoot.
McKenzie on, and he won the faceoff here as the power play starts to wind down. Trocheck in the corner. Check by Bergeron. Upshaw flies in, throwing the body. Trocheck picks it free. Here's Derek McKenzie. Scored a power play goal back in the second game of the season. Ekblad fires, and Rask able to slide over and hold on just as the power play ends. Midway through the first. Panthers, Bruins.
BB&T Center scoreless with 9:42 left to go here in the first period. Just before puck drop tonight, the Florida Panthers honored goaltender Roberto Luongo, who picked up his 400th career win to open up this homestand against the Carolina Hurricanes. A big 6-1 victory, and the Florida Panthers team presented Luongo with a silver stick in recognition of the milestone. With one more win, he'd move into a tie for 10th all-time in wins with 401 with Chris Osgood. Denny, where does Roberto Luongo rank for you as far as goaltenders all-time that you've seen?
Oh, he's number one ever. Who do I work for?
Very good answer. I like the answer.
No, I tell you what, Roberto Luongo, 400 wins. I mean, that's a category that is obviously very elite. And Roberto is glad to be back and hoping that he can continue his progress as the team gets better and better in the playoffs. Roberto Luongo, just give you an example and to close up on this, coming into the game, 921 save percentage. The average save percentage for goaltenders in the NHL is 914. He's done his job.
Who's the greatest in your opinion, Denny? Goalie of all time?
Well, you know, obviously I got to say Billy Smith, but I will go back to guys like Bernie Parent and Kenny Dryden were really, really terrific goaltenders. And then we went to a period where I think everybody agrees goaltending was not all that great, but guys like Brad Fuhr came along. And, you know, after the Billy Smith era, then you started to have the Marty Brodeurs coming in, and I have to look at Marty as probably the best right now. The statistics will back that up. Stanley Cups, as well as he never missed very many games.
I'm going to go with, and I agree with that, I'm going to go with Patrick Waugh.
Yeah.
Only because of the system that Jersey played, Billy, that they protected Brodeur a lot.
Me too, Moissy. I agree with that.
Here's Mitchell shooting from the point. But, I mean, you go and you play a game 7, right, with any of those guys. Shuffle them up. But
well, you look at the Stanley Cup goaltenders, too, and has had great playoffs, and they're not always the best. I mean, Crawford, Niemi, these are all Stanley Cup winning goaltenders that they can't really say they're in the elite category.
things a little feisty there. The former Boston Bruin, Sean Thornton. Speaking of the New Jersey Devils, one more to go. And Saturday night, it's the Panthers and the Devils here at the BB&T Center, 954-835 puck. It's Fan Appreciation Night. Panthers giving away over $50,000 in prizes. 7 o'clock face-off, 6:30 airtime here on Fox Sports Florida. Actually, a 7 o'clock airtime here on Fox Sports Florida following Marlins baseball. Will be on the air immediately following that game, but they're going to be giving away hotel stays, concert tickets, autographed memorabilia, Beats headphones. So,
Golden, just thinking, Billy asked me about goaltender, and I was thinking Kenny Dryden. Kenny was probably the first of the really huge goaltenders. But boy, I would love to produce a picture of Kenny Dryden's pads. I mean, it would look funny how small they were on a guy who was 6'4", 6'5". The equipment has changed tremendously over the years for goaltenders.
That position in general has changed the most.
big hit by Petrovic on Lucic. And Lucic, Dan, look at Petrovic. He's not afraid to chirp at the bench, and he stung Lucic a bit.
Well, I tell you what, Lucic is no longer the leader in penalty minutes. This was not a hit intended to hurt anybody other than the fact that Lucic ran into a wall. He doesn't know Petrovic. And when he tried to initiate the hit, you can see that. Look at Petrovic, the kid knows who Lucic is, but he was not going to back off. And that was purely one of those things where you try and hit a guy and, oops, you find out he's pretty solid on his skates.
And from ice level, the emotions back, the body language, the intensity in the face that we did not see last game against Montreal. After they got eliminated, those 3 days off, I think, have helped the Panthers, but I think they're back to their old selves.
Well, you won't be playing meaningful hockey, meaning in any game for a long time. You might as well enjoy the last couple. I had a captain in Eddie Westfall. It happened to us my first year. We weren't making the playoffs. He said, look, we got to play him. Might as well win him.
I was going to say, you don't have a big bank to go to. You guys are in the playoffs every
year
single year. Erickson down to the offensive zone here. Panthers have leveled off this game a bit since that opening 8-9 minutes where the Bruins control play.
The Bruins, what they do so well, and this is where it's tough. They protect the puck well. Every line seems to be strong on the puck in the offensive zone, and that's how they drew the penalty early.
Puck deflected and caught the Panther bench.
Well, how about this story? Jágr, Huberdeau, and Barkov. Will they be a line that will start together in October? Well, a lot of people certainly hope so, and I'm sure that there will be some very serious talk about all of that. And the idea of what could they accomplish as a line given the chance of playing any two games together.
Everything you hear seems to be trending that way, hopefully.
Yeah.
Jágr publicly saying that he does like it here, of course. Jágr, has been so good and all the chatter, and it's true, so good for Huberdeau and Barkov. But how good has Barkov been, guys, for Jágr? And no one has really talked about that.
Well, Jágr did. I'm much happier with him than Gomez. Of course, I wasn't supposed to go public with that.
I was going to say, he didn't say
Gomez,
that, did he?
don't worry, it's not a knock. You're a good young player, good older player, whatnot. But Gomez is like 35 years old. And I think one of the things that really excites Jágr about coming back is the talent that you mentioned, the incredible talent, the incredible potential, and the youth of the players that he's playing with. So I don't think that there's been enough airtime to fill the amount of times that Jágr has wanted to express his feeling about his line mates.
I would think it's huge for him playing with a guy like Barkov that's so strong down low.
Yeah.
Chance here, side of the net. Luongo got run over. Ivan Smith made some contact. Peary's out to center. Peary then will shoot in.
We showed a couple of highlights last game, probably see him again tonight, of how Huberdeau has picked up a lot of how to protect the puck in the offensive zone from watching the veteran Jágr.
Alexander Barkov in the last 47 games, the longest he's went without points is 2 games. That's a stretch. Incredible stretch.
Yeah, and he scored 12 of his 15 goals in right around there, and that's about half a season. So you're starting to look at a guy like Barkov next year. I mean, it's tough year to year, but I think you pencil him in, wouldn't you think, for 20?
I think he's got 20 in the bank easy next year.
Okay.
Somebody will have to talk to him about shooting.
Fire away.
Yeah, really.
Jokinen gets checked here. Poland on, along with boys. Veteran line for the Panthers.
But the amazing thing, if you really study the NHL like we do and think about it every day, you see there are not a lot of great shooters on teams. I mean, how many Brandon Pearys are there on the Boston Bruins? You can't think of one, really. And their leading scorers are both very average shooters in Marchand and Bergeron.
Lucic throws one high over the net, and that's the thing, if Jágr is back, and if Brandon Peary is healthy, you talk about a full year with both of those guys, how much better can the Panthers' offense be? And you also just hope from the maturation from a guy like Bjugstad and Huberdeau. Upshaw's over the line now, throws it down low. Sean Thornton trying to get to work. Into the boards by McQuaid. Campbell back again for Thornton. And Thornton, the former Bruin, loved him on the radio a week and a half ago in Boston. They asked him about the Bruins, what's going on there. He goes, guys, no disrespect, I don't really care. I've got my own locker room here in Florida.
Right.
What a guy Sean Thornton is, both on and off the ice. Just team all the way. And Thornton again. Good shift by McKenzie, Upshaw, and Thornton, and it's shoveled right through the slot to Ekblad. Fires wide, and Sean Thornton bats it back to the point for Campbell. Over to Ekblad. Floats one, and Rask will finally get the whistle. Panthers have really picked up their play as this first period has moved on, and Alex Petrovich back in the first period. The Panthers and the Bruins are scoreless after the Bruins dominated the first 8 minutes. The Panthers have done much better over the last 7.
You take a look at a guy like Brian Campbell and the veteran guy, and a lot of the talk, he plays every night, he shows up, he's able to play consistent hockey. But I think this year, and you heard it right from the mouth of Aaron Ekblad, been terrific for the youngster. He has really been a stabilizing force. He has leaned on Ekblad to also play his role and figure out, you got to protect half the ice, I'll protect the other half. I think Brian Campbell has been a tremendous influence. And as you know, the only pair of defensemen that's been together all season long. The only game missed was by Ekblad, who had the flu. 1 game. Otherwise, every night you turned on to watch the Florida Panthers that were here in Sunrise, Florida. Number 51 and number 5 were on the ice together.
Campbell's never missed a game as a Panther. This is 4th season. Quite a remarkable streak. It's over 300 in a row for Campbell. And Campbell and Derek McKenzie, the two Panthers that are playing in their 81st game of the season. Only two that have played in every one so far. There's Jágr trying to chip it out. His old buddy Chara gave him a shot there. Of course, Jágr spent brief time with the Bruins a couple of years ago. Petrovic carries and gives to Jágr up on the wing. Over to Barkov, makes a move and couldn't get the shot off. Thrown out to center. Kulikov strong on Eriksson, but he rolls all the way back. Panthers do it one more time before the season ends. Saturday night, 7 o'clock here at the BB&T Center against the New Jersey Devils on Fan Appreciation Night. Bergeron for Krug. Overskates. Now covers, but Bergeron was already in the zone, so we had to wait for everyone to get back on side. Bruins lost last night, 3-0 to Washington.
Well, there's a team that's looking pretty good.
Capitals have really stepped it up and played well. They've clinched their spot. Riley Smith, up high Krug in the slap shot. Luongo fought through the traffic, and it hit Marchand in front, actually. You see Marchand there trailing the play, bent over. Here come the Panthers, 3-on-2. Hayes blocked by Krug, though. Hayes again. Krug again got a piece of it. And then Krug finally takes it away and clears it out to center.
Well, Marchand will be a loss. He's got 22 goals. He and Bergeron are tied for the most goals for the Boston Bruins. And boy, when goals come at a premium like they do for the Boston Bruins, he would be a big loss. He's still on the bench, though. I would imagine he'll be back.
Last night, the reports were, unofficially, of course, that Marchand was very sick before that game in Washington. And you know the type of player he is. If he's on your team, you love him. If he's not, you despise him. And, of course, he played in that game. He's one competitor, that's for sure. Bartkowski hammers one and hit his own man. Talbot in front. So the Bruins have tried to get that traffic in front of Luongo. A couple of shots that hit their own men. Luongo the save there. Connolly tries the wraparound. Dave Bolin just wouldn't let him get free.
Well, you know that the game plan for the Boston Bruins is to get the first goal. I mean, they can do very well protecting a one-goal lead. That's how they've always had their success. And this year in particular, they have not had a great offensive season.
Upshaw bursting in, turns and shoots, and it deflects high over the net. He was sent in by Sean Thornton. This line's been good here in the first period. Kulikov fires, that just goes wide. Ekblad jumps in. Here's McKenzie, checked by Krug. McKenzie bounces off, but Spooner will slow things down. Panthers have really tightened it up defensively over the last 10 minutes of play. They've only allowed 2 shots on goal.
You know, nobody's taking any risk because both teams have so much trouble scoring. Very low-scoring teams.
Pastrnak, centering feed, taken away by Kulikov, and Upshaw wearing one of the A's in this game, along with Dave Bolin on his jersey.
Boy, this is where you want to up the offense because it is no fun playing with, you know, a lump in your throat right from the first play of the game because you're afraid if the other team gets one goal, you may not be able to catch up. I mean, that is not where you want to be if you're going to be a contender year after year.
Jágr got slowed down a bit there by Chara and just couldn't reach it, and Campbell resets. 1:20 to go here in the first period. Huberdeau gets around one man, carries in, fights off the Soderberg check to get it down low. Barkov hit by Chara but maintains possession and showed his strength there. Huberdeau now behind the net. Jágr. Petrovic back again for Jágr. Has an opening, moves in and shoots, but it's blocked by Soderberg, who closed on Jágr in a hurry. Campbell holds it in. Here's Trotman feeding Chara. Couldn't handle it cleanly, and quickly Barkov for Jágr again. Oh, he fights off the check of Kelly, and then they both go down. Oh, and then Kelly pounding Jágr right in the face. Oh, it's gotten physical there. Chara getting into it, along with Huberdeau. And there's Petrovic jumping up. Yeah, you like to see this kind of fight from the Panthers in a game like this. You know, the Bruins desperately need it, and the Panthers, emotionally and physically, Denny, are right there with them.
Why wouldn't there be a call made right away on Kelly? You've got Jágr on his back. That's the time to blow the whistle, make a call. Now you've got control of the game. For now, the referee, by not making that call, is forced to make a call now and to figure out who you're going to penalize. Well, it's a little late to take control of the game, I'm sure. Watch what happens right here. This is a good hit. Kelly goes down. On top of him goes Jágr, and then watch this. And then you got the push and the shove and another push 3 times. And then you've got the take the feet out from underneath of Huberdeau. Now, nothing is called. Nothing to this point. I mean, this is where referees can take control of the situation before it gets out of hand.
So we get penalties to Huberdeau and Chara out of all of that, 2 each.
So the Panthers do not come out of this with a power play.
No,
And
we'll just go 4 on 4, yeah.
At this point in time, one has to wonder who is most hurt by these guys in the penalty box. I would say the Panthers. Chara in the penalty box versus Huberdeau. I'll take Huberdeau on the ice right now.
So we'll play the last 30 seconds of the period, 4 on 4. It'll carry over into the second. Peary had it knocked away. Marchand back on the ice. Panthers were able to clear. Peary and Trocheck, the speedy forwards for the Panthers, looking to shake free in the final seconds of the period. Kulikov up ahead for Trocheck. Couldn't get around Krug with the puck. And Bergeron will just hold it. And that'll do it for the opening period. Quite a turnaround. The Boston Bruins had 10 shots in the first 8 minutes. Luongo stopped them all, and then only had 2, Denny, the rest of the way in that first period.
Well, I think the fact is the Florida Panthers had to be real happy with the way they killed the penalty. Now, as we talked about, they were not able to get the puck out of the zone. Boston had almost a full 2-minute power play in the Florida Panthers zone. But you know what? There was no other areas where they risked taking penalties. They kept their position, and the Bruins got some shots, but not any of the great variety.
We go to the second intermission right now. And here's Roberto Luongo and the Panthers getting set to start this second period against the Boston Bruins. And, you know, we heard Aaron Ekblad talk to Bill Lindsay there at the intermission on the bench, and the Panthers try to get more pressure against goaltender Tuukka Rask. And Ekblad said, yeah, a little bit of a slow start, but then it really seemed like emotionally as that period went on, the Panthers got into this game.
You know, the pattern is very similar to what the Panthers have fallen into at times when they take early penalties. They have a tough time getting going after a while. You know, they're a 4-line team. They want everybody to get on the ice. And I think as soon as you saw the McKenzie line start to show their stuff and bring the game to the Boston Bruins, things started to change. And then Barkov line started, and then Bolin started. So all of a sudden it started to look in the favor of the Florida Panthers. I expect if their discipline is good, it's going to keep getting better in the second.
And we'll start this second period 4 on 4 with both Jonathan Huberdeau and Bruins captain Zdeno Chara in the penalty box after a scrum late in the first period. The Bruins need this game as they are tied with Ottawa for the final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference, and Ottawa's winning tonight at Madison Square Garden 1-0. So here we go in the second with some open ice, and Barkov and Jágr, the 2 Panther forwards. Jágr fights off Krug, but then Bergeron takes away. Bruins do have a tiebreaker should they finish even with Ottawa in points. Boston will go over to Tampa to finish their 82-game season on Saturday. Panthers here home against the Devils to wrap up the season. Jágr hustles it after the puck. Fights off Seidenberg. Waits for help off the bench. Boy, what a player he still is, Jaromir Jágr.
Goalie, I see the Florida Panthers defense pairings there getting mixed up quite a bit, but Branson has not come back from the dressing room. Not yet.
Got shaken up there off that dirty hit by Connolly. Did come back and play in the game, so not sure why Goodbranson isn't out yet. Soderberg, offside call on Boston.
Soderberg is an interesting story. You talk about a guy that has fought through adversity. Now, he is a centerman, and he will also he will also play the right wing. Or the left wing, I'm sorry, because his left eye only has about 20% vision in it. Yet he has been able to fight through that and be able to make himself a very good player. But there's certain things that he can't do, and Julien will not use him in certain situations because it's harder for him to see the puck coming. But boy, what a difference between that and years ago. I mean, to only have about 20% vision in your eye in the old days, meaning 20, 30 years ago, they would have put an end to your career because of that.
Pretty amazing. And you saw the number, 6 points in his last 6 games.
Yeah.
He's been playing some good hockey.
Here's Ekblad jumping up, and the drop pass is taken by Krejci. 5-on-5 now as Huberdeau and Chara came back. A little surprised Ekblad didn't try to fire that puck.
You know, particularly, you're right, Goldie, good point, because particularly as a defenseman, when you carry the puck up the ice, you don't want to make a back pass under any circumstance.
Nice pass by Ekblad. Fury shot stopped by Rask.
You're already out of position, theoretically. Why would you put yourself further out of position by making a drop pass? So you're absolutely right. And we don't see Ekblad, or haven't seen him do that pretty much all season long. And that is a place where if you're a defenseman, offensive or not, but you get a chance in the offensive zone, you shoot the puck and you get back to your position.
What a rookie season for Ekblad. 12 goals. That's a Panther record. Ed Jovanovski way back when had 10 his rookie year. Look at Kulikov carrying. The drop for Hayes. Back in front, tipped away by Rask. And cleared out to center by Kelly right off the bench. Derek McKenzie, who had a strong opening period. And now Thornton off the bench. Shoots in. Panthers 1-1-1 against the Bruins this year. They have been tough, low-scoring game. McKenzie works it free. Plays it around behind the net. Upshaw flips it in front. Settled down by Thornton, who shoots. It's blocked away. McKenzie again. And now Upshaw takes over. Takes a shot, deflected over the net. Boy, has this line been good. Big hit by Thornton on Seidenberg. It's Upshaw again. Looking in front. Upshaw doesn't have a man, so goes to the point. Campbell now. Holding and shooting. Knocked down. McKenzie fires. That goes wide. Upshaw one more time. What an effort by the Panthers. A game the Bruins desperately need to win, and the Panthers have brought it here in the second. Wednesday, the United States men's national soccer team takes on Mexico at the sold-out Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. Coverage begins Wednesday at 8:30 Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming on Fox Sports Go.
Well, I tell you, there's no doubt that you could work on a team like that line of McKenzie has and do some damage. You know, the Boston Bruins did play in Washington last night. It's not an easy flight leaving Washington to come down to Fort Lauderdale. Of course, the Bruins were not anywhere near the rink this morning. Panthers have had 3 days off.
Boston played Washington 3 times this season.
Yeah.
They did not score a goal.
I know.
Unbelievable. They got shut out every single game.
You know, it's the first time in NHL history, as you bring that up, Billy, that's happened in a 3-game season series, ironically enough. A week ago, the Panthers were about a minute and a half from doing that to Carolina until the Hurricanes got that goal, and they only scored once in 3 games against the Panthers. But Ottawa now leading the Rangers 2-0. So, boy, the Bruins, they, as we said right from the top, they need this game.
What's the number to get in this year? It's going to be 97 then, probably 98. I mean, 97 gets you in, but...
Well, 97 might.
But it's going to be the highest ever, isn't it, Goldie?
Yeah, 2 teams to that point, Billy, have missed with 95. No one's ever missed with 96. Chance here in front for Smith. Oh, what a save by Luongo! And a follow by McKenzie, or should I say Bergeron. And we get a penalty called here. It's going to be on the Panthers, but Luongo keeps us scoreless.
Brad Boyce for hooking.
Florida penalty number 24. 2 minutes for hooking.
The first shot for the Bruins in more than 15 minutes of play, and it was a good one.
You know, you hate to see the end result be exactly this, but there you see when Mitchell steps up, then you've got a Bruin, and right there is Riley Smith going to the net, and boys got caught basically flat-footed. And so when Willie Mitchell stepped up, it seemed like a bit of a lack of communication. Riley Smith took the advantage to go to the net, and actually, boys probably ended up getting a good penalty.
Stopped skating for 1 second. That 1 second was just too much.
So second power play of the night for the Bruins. And Spooner feeds it back to the point. Krug. And Luongo. Where'd that hit Luongo?
Must have been high.
Seemed a little shaken up as that puck skimmed off him.
You know, the one area, maybe the only area, the goaltenders sometimes feel the shot is up high. You know, you see there's not a lot of padding around the neck area. That's where Roberto did get hit before. And there you see how it goes right off the top of the collarbone. Very, very hard to protect that area, although they do a great job of it now, because you obviously have to have that incredible mobility.
Boland won the draw, but the Bruins are able to hold it in the zone. Boland after it again, but it's played to Bergeron. Krejci. Krug watched by Jokinen, now Spooner, and they play a little catch-up high. Krug shoots deflected in front, never got to the net.
Denny, you touched on Boston's power play struggles. Only one for the last 16 now. They're without their top defenseman on the power play and leading scorer on the power play, Dougie Hamilton.
Offside on Boston.
How about that story? Is that a great story about Dougie Hamilton? Everybody in Boston said it was a upper body injury, and of course that's what the NHL rules. Now there's a great friend of his that plays for the Celtics, and I guess he got hurt and was interviewed on Celtic television, and he said, well, if my good friend Dougie Hamilton can play with broken ribs, I guess I could play too. That's how the word got out that it was ribs that were the problem for Dougie Hamilton. Not very happy in Boston Bruin land. You know, they just don't talk about the specifics of injuries anymore.
Soderberg swings it back up high, and Smith couldn't handle it.
That's one thing I don't understand, the actual hiding of injuries.
Well, you guys know better than I do. Don't you think in big games that if you know someone's got an area that's sore, you're going to, I'm not saying try to hurt the guy and put him out of the game, but you're going to try to, well, Denny, you may try to hurt the guy.
No. I was thinking Billy would run out.
But do you think most of these teams, the opponent, they'll know what's going on to some degree?
Maybe to some degree, but I'm not. If it's me, especially if you're going in hockey, I'm not advertising what's wrong with my guy. No, I'm not.
You know, I think, I don't know who's being credited for this, whether it was Claude Julien or Vigneault or another coach of the current era, but it hasn't been around that long, Billy, where, you know, I think after the end of your career, there wasn't any kind of talk like that. It started sort of in, you know, much later, right? In the late 90s, early 2000, that teams didn't want to divulge anything.
That's, 2000s when I really first started to hear of it.
Eric Goodbranson, by the way, will not return in this game with an upper body injury. Panthers down to 5D. Huberdeau finally rejoined the play after he was taken down on that rush up ice. But play rolls on. And Huberdeau now scooped up by Barkov. Barkov, a little bit of room. Jagr tipped away, and the Panthers have to reset at center. Jagr flips it ahead. Nice little play with Ekblad. Ekblad moving in and shooting, kicked out by Rask, and nobody there for that big juicy rebound. Unfortunately for the Panthers, perfect shot by Ekblad.
That's exactly what Ekblad was doing, shooting for the rebound.
Jagr sets up Peary for a one-timer. Oh, that one just missed wide. Rask may have gotten a small piece of it. Boy, Jagr set up Peary in prime position. Now Trocheck gives to Peary. In front, knocked away from Jagr. Krug wraps it around the boards. Campbell steps up to play. Brian Campbell fights through the check. Peary for Jagr again. Trocheck. Jagr one more time. Campbell fires it into the slot. Jagr for Ekblad. Backhander wide. Panthers got it going pretty good now in the offensive zone. Trocheck again for Ekblad. Has a man off the bench. It's Jimmy Hayes shooting high over the net. Carries to Campbell. Ekblad. And he didn't quite get all of it. I thought his stick might have broken, but I believe it stayed intact. Ekblad knocks it down. Ooh, he thought he held it in, but they call it offside. And we get a timeout. Brandon Peary continues to shoot the puck. Shoot the ass. Fought it off. With those 22 goals on the season. And Billy, there's not a lot of helpers to go along with it, is there?
No, not too many, goalie. Only 2 assists. That's hard to do, score 22 goals and only have 2 assists. So we tried to look it up. 20 goal scorers with the fewest assist ratio. You got to go back to the 1920s. Cy Dennehy, no idea who that is. Joe Malone, Carson Cooper, Bill Cook. I have not heard of one of those players, but that 11 goals to 1 assist ratio, you had to dig up some long-time stats to look up Brandon Peary, and those are some outstanding, amazing numbers. Denny, have you ever heard of any of those other hockey players?
Well, I'm sort of a historian, Billy. That's why I read about them. I certainly don't know who they were, but I do want to bring out, well, I do, Cy Dennehy. How about Cyclone Taylor? Some great names back in the early days of hockey in Canada. And the fact is Cy Dennehy, you saw there the Ottawa. That was the original Ottawa Senators. They went dormant for 70 years almost until the current Ottawa Senators brought them back. I guess it was in 1992.
Well, at least Billy didn't take the cheap shot and ask, did you ever play with any of them? He just asked if you heard of them. So nice out of Lindsay. I figured maybe he'd throw that in. I did hear of Bill Cook because he was a big factor on the Rangers haven't won very many Stanley Cups. I think they won a couple when Cook was actually on the team.
Let me see, 1940?
You can do the math.
That's really digging into the archives of hockey.
Well, they've won once in 75 years, so it's, I mean...
Yeah, you can imagine it was a slightly different game. I think they had a rover back then.
I think they were only like... We were in Chicago.
New York American.
When we were in Chicago this year, they have the Stanley Cup champs, like a plaque on the outside of the dressing room in Chicago. So I'm looking at the team that, the last 2 teams that won, and there's a number of former Panthers on those teams. And I go all the way back to the teams that won like in the 30s. Yeah. There's like
8 guys.
One coach. There's one coach. There's one doctor. Yeah, there's like 12 players. There's nobody on the list. Now there's 40, 50 names on there on a plaque.
I wonder if there's a history of a bus driver's name, because remember now, they were also the backup goalie.
Yeah, that's a great point, yeah. Well, the Panthers have had an exciting season, and they're trying to build and keep it rolling. The most improved team in the NHL. Tickets are available for next season. You also get ticket access for this year's NHL Draft. There's flexible ticket packages, so come on in and be part of it next season. 954-835-PUCK. Panther ticket reps are standing by right now, so call the puck line. Another battle between these 2 teams as we approach the midway point of the game. And we're still scoreless. McQuaid shoots. Luongo got a stick on it, and it's out of play.
I talked about the fact that speed and tenacity were going to be 2 of the keys, and that really came out of the fact that Gerard Gallant made the quote, after losing to both Tampa Bay and Montreal, total score of 8-1, he said, we checked out. And then he vowed that part of the pregame talk would be, if the Boston Bruins are going to take 2 points out of our building tonight and then help themselves get into a playoff, they're going to have to earn it. And I think we're seeing that. Panthers are playing much better hockey.
And they've really limited Boston. Remember, 10 of those 15 shots came in the first 8 minutes of the game. Poland trying to get out of the zone. Ian Jokinen able to do the job.
Not yet a power play for the Florida Panthers. 2.
Luongo will hold again. By the way, Bill Cook, for 10 years, and I knew him, 10 years, was captain of the Rangers, and he's in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
How about that?
Should know who Bill Cook is, Bill Lindsay.
How about Joe Malone?
Welcome back to the BB&T Center. Scoreless halfway through this contest between the Boston Bruins and the Florida Panthers. Every year, hockey writers from around the country and in Canada, of course, get to vote for one player for each team to nominate for the Bill Masterton Memorial Trophy for a kind of comeback player of the year type of player. Thomas Kopecky is the nominee for the Florida Panthers, the South Florida version of the Professional Hockey Writers Association, picking number 82 for the Florida Panthers. Of course, he was injured during the Olympics last year, and Denny, he's come back and he's played a role, and he's played that role pretty well on the fourth line.
Well, he certainly has played really well, and I think the fact is, I congratulated him this morning, and here's a guy who, it's got to be tough. Considering, he had 15 goals, led the team a couple of years ago, and now things have changed dramatically for him, but I was happy for him because we always felt he gave it a full effort, and he wasn't compensated with a lot of goals.
Here's a chance in front. The boys shot deflects wide. Chara just scooted it past Jokinen, but Ekblad on the pinch. Keeps it in the zone. Pass past Chara. Kelly will just play it safe and lift to center. Knocked down there. Again, the Panthers down to 5 defensemen. Erica Branson, unfortunately, with an upper body injury in the first. Hit from behind by Connolly. Not returned. Barkov shoots. That flutters high. And look out. The big Karen play by Marchand. Speeds into the zone. Marchand peels back. Good play by Petrovic and the support from Barkov. That's good defensive work by two young players for the Panthers. Chipped in front. Bouncing puck. Barkov again back defensively. And Huberdeau.
Well, there's never a doubt. You can hear that said every night. Barkov back defensively.
Yager, 1-on-4, gets in and shoots. It's blocked away. Huberdeau for Barkov. Point blank. Saved by Rask with a glove. There's that Yager, Barkov, Huberdeau line at it again.
15 goals for this youngster. I think the question maybe have been posed earlier. Is he a 20-goal scorer next year? Without a doubt. And I've always felt that if you can get 4 or 5, minimum 4, of course there's no maximum, but if you can get minimum 4 guys that score 20 goals, you're going to be a playoff team. You're going to win 43 games.
Funny, Danny, when you play good defense, you get chances down at the other end too, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Well, coming in late is never a bad deal because you can always see where the play is developing, and you go where you think the puck's going to be.
Peary off the draw, steps in, takes a sharp angle shot. Not only does he get that velocity, he'll let it go from anywhere. Connolly speeding the other way, looking for a chance. It goes right through the slot. Trocheck, right up the middle in the dump in. Krug is back, bumped by Peary, but able to play it around the boards. Boston tied for 8th. Good hit by Kulikov there. Tied for 8th in the conference with the Ottawa Senators in points. Boston would win a tiebreaker. Each team with 2 games left, including tonight. Ottawa's winning its game 2-0 against the Rangers, who have the number 1 spot wrapped up, resting a number of their players.
Well, Ottawa then goes off into Philadelphia to wrap up their season.
And it's interesting, Denny, because that Ottawa-Philly game is at 12:30 on Saturday. The Bruins don't play till that night in Tampa. Here comes Jimmy Hayes. Getting in on the backhand. Rask the save. Hayes tried to get his own rebound, but went down. So
Panthers not getting any calls at all. The interference with Peary in the middle of the ice there, and just overlooked.
We get an offside here.
Peary's got that quizzical look at his face. There it is right there. And, that's a call that you would have to make, I would think. If you don't make the call, then you have to call diving.
Yeah, that's a great point.
It's either one of those. You just can't just let it go. Like, I'm not here. I didn't see it.
You touch on that playoff race too. Detroit has 97 points. They are 3rd in the Atlantic Division. So there's a chance both Boston and Ottawa could catch Detroit and not necessarily finish in a wild card spot.
Now Detroit's got Datsuk and Tatar, of course, scored. That's 2-2 in Montreal.
They're tied now. Now, Detroit does get Carolina on Saturday. But, yeah, Detroit needs to at least get another point, I would think. And maybe even 2. Only half of the 8 spots with 72 hours left in the season have been claimed in the East.
It's exactly what the NHL wants.
No question. And LA and Calgary play a big game tonight. Calgary can eliminate the Kings from the playoffs.
I think they will.
Think so? Think Calgary wins that game?
Yeah, I do. I think that, Calgary, you can't deny the fact that they have shown so much character. And Bob Hartley, the coach, is certainly one of the candidates for Jack Adams as Coach of the Year. And this is a character game. And I don't like the way LA has done it. You let it sit there all year and think you can turn it on.
They've done that, and then they've gone on and won the cup.
It worked a couple of times,
Right.
yeah, but I don't think it's going to work.
Hey, you're playing with fire. They lost that game to Edmonton the other night.
And they know it, too. I mean, they won the Stanley Cup, in very improbable ways, and everybody gave them a lot of credit. Still do. But it can't work over and over again.
A lot of conversation there over by the bench, I guess, on who was on the ice after the icing. Is that what they're talking about there? Because Gerard Gallant.
That's what they're trying to figure out, Paulie.
He's saying, where's Mac? And Derek McKenzie. Because McKenzie was on the ice, I guess. So now Claude Julien wants a little bit of an explanation. They won't let McKenzie on, or will they? Let's see. McKenzie is just floating around out there. You see him. Willie Mitchell's wondering who's taking the draw.
Well, it's certainly somebody's got good control of this game.
All right, here we go off the face-off. And the Panthers able to control. Thornton got it to center. Bartkowski throws it back down low. Panthers got the partial change. Now they'll get the full change because the Bruins get called for icing. And Panthers have, Denny, they've now caught up in the shots on goal in this game tonight. It was a huge disparity in the opening 8 minutes.
Well, you know what? I mean, this is not something new for anybody who's been watching the Panthers and the Bruins. The Florida Panthers have scored 2 or fewer goals against the Bruins in the last 11 games. So the Panthers have got to figure out a way and to see themselves as a team that can give their goaltender 3 goals. That goes back decades. I remember, and still valuable today. A goaltender will tell you, give me 3 goals. I will either win it or certainly take it overtime.
Wade goes off the glass. Nice knockdown by Petrovic. And Jagr along the boards. Puts it in the corner. Barkov is there trying to dig it free. It's played by Petrovic. A shot goes wide. Jagr hustles over. Blanketed by Eriksson. Kulikov feeds Huberdeau. Now it's Barkov. They're getting better and better this line as the game goes on. Petrovic again with a wrist shot. Oh, it just skipped off Huberdeau and went wide. And Huberdeau getting hammered in front by McQuaid.
Nothing.
They let it go.
Absolutely nothing.
Kulikov, McQuaid and Huberdeau, and Petrovic's finally had enough. And Petrovic jumps in for Huberdeau.
Give it to him.
And good for Petrovic. My goodness.
Well, the referee's not, this is unbelievable. I mean, you just don't want to go on about it, but...
Yeah, now they're going to go here, and
they're just letting this escalate to a point where it could get ugly.
McQuaid getting a couple of shots in. Petrovic trying to get free. Alex Petrovic, the young Panther defenseman, can throw him.
He's trying to throw the left now. He's trying to get set up a little better.
Well, McQuaid better look out now. Yeah, if he gets that right free, you're right, Denny. McQuaid can throw him, too. He's a tough customer. Look at Petrovic here. Just battling away. Throwing those jabs with that left. Alex Petrovic. McQuaid's got the right free. And again, all of it could have been avoided if the proper call was made on McQuaid when he was just hammering away at Jonathan Huberdeau right at the net.
I mean, I don't understand. This is an embarrassment. Wait. Look at this. Look at this. Referee turns away. What did I tell you? I don't want to see it.
Turned into quite a game now. It's gotten physical. It's gotten nasty. Yeah. And we are still scoreless. Here's what happened moments ago. Huberdeau just getting hammered.
Look at the turning away by the referee. He will not take a look at this. And this, of course, gets everything started. Now here comes Petrovic, and now all of a sudden, the referee, Chris Lee, has got something on his hands that he's got to make decisions on. Everybody's frustrated. Everybody's mad. There's a lot at stake here for the Boston Bruins, who have not scored. And now the Florida Panthers are out shooting him 17-16. So the Bruins You know, we're in a situation now where what do? You target a defenseman, so the Panthers go down to 4, already having lost Goodbranson. All you got to do is sort of laugh about it, and that's what Gallant is saying. How about the Peary takedown in the neutral zone? It was a 2-on-1 play. I don't know why they just don't want to engage and protect the players. It seemed to me that that is their MO going into every game.
Huberdeau is in the box as well for the Panthers. Hit there by Bergeron, and Willie Mitchell gives it right back to him, and they're going to call Mitchell. You got to be kidding me.
Unbelievable.
Wow. Boy, oh boy. Bruins will go in the power play. Willie can do nothing but just smile.
It's a joke.
I mean, if you're going to let him play, hey, let everybody play.
Number 33, 2 minutes for interference.
So Boston's third power play of the night.
I'll tell you what, Kerry Fraser, one of the former officials, is here working with TSN, and I tell you, I don't know what capacity he's in, but this is unbelievable. This is just unbelievable. Not that there might not have been a penalty involved, but just to come back and just throw it in your face like that, it's just amazing. Now the Panthers are down to 3 defensemen.
Branson out for the game with injury. Here's Krug shooting, deflected, loose in front, and they score on the power play. It's Bergeron.
Well, there's the MO.
And Willie Mitchell out of the box is just giving it to the official.
And so is McKenzie. I mean, these are veteran players. They have a feel for the game, obviously. You know, referees Kelly Sutherland and Chris Lee do not have the feel for this game. They did not right from the very beginning. I mean, it was sort of obvious when they could have taken control of things early in the second period, and they didn't do it.
Flabbergasting. Just makes you wonder sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, were they hoping to get through the game without penalties and make the early dinner date? I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you who should be really angry are the Ottawa Senators right now.
Yeah, well,
I'll tell you that because...
I mean, it appears, listen, if you watch this game in its entirety, you know, it appears as though there's something going on here that the Ottawa Senators also would not be very happy about.
They're battling Boston for a playoff spot. So Bergeron gets his 23rd of the year on the power play and breaks through here late in the second with the game's first goal.
Well, they don't score a lot, the Boston Bruins, but the power play has not been too bad. They've been very inconsistent all season long, not only with their games, 5-on-5, but the power play has been as well. But coming into this game, the last 6 games, they've had 5 for 18. That's 28%. So that's one area where, given the opportunity, and boy, have they been given opportunities tonight, they will be able to convert.
Trocheck, lead pass has Peary, but it's off his stick. Peary will track it down. Play it around again for Trocheck. Now it's Jimmy Hayes to the point for Campbell. Bouncing in behind the net, and the Bruins able to control. Kelly to center. Soderberg, and they're offside. Eriksson was still in the zone. The Panthers want you to be a season ticket holder for the 2015-16 season. There are invitations to exclusive ticket holder events, player access, Panthers loyalty program as well. So call 954-835-PUCK. Check it out at floridapanthers.com for season tickets next year. For the Panthers, 21-point jump from a year ago, the most improved team in the NHL. And oh, so close.
Not just the points, but in winning percentage as well, which is very important. And also very important for the confidence, you know, of a team that's growing.
Jokinen taking a shift here with Barkov and Jagr with Huberdeau in the penalty box.
Well, if things go this way, take a look for Jokinen to be playing defense at some point. That's how versatile he is as the Florida Panthers. Getting low on defensemen there, of course. After the goal, they got Mitchell back on the ice, but Petrovic will be in the penalty box for a while after his fight. And then, of course, Goodbranson in the penalty box after first period hit and has not come back. Penalty box? Dressing room. The Branson dressing room.
And the Panthers on the breakout, and pay attention to number 16, Alexander Barkov, on this play where he comes for positioning. Stick on the ice, perfect support out to the winger. And then the defense gets up on the ice. Winger cuts through the middle, tic-tac-toe passing. How beautiful is that for execution? Coming out of your own zone, but it just starts with every person being in the right position. Barkov comes down low for support. Just like that, you're out of your own end, getting down at the other end. Didn't get a scoring chance, but because of that play, the Panthers have an offensive zone faceoff.
Great understanding of the game for a teenager, Alexander Barkov.
You know, in Boston last week, I asked Bergeron, arguably one of the best two-way centermen in the game still today, and Crosby a couple of months ago when we were in Pittsburgh, and both came and said the same thing. Very, very strong defensively. Very hard to play against. Alexander Barkov, and once he starts getting those 20-goal seasons together, now you've got yourself a big deal number 2 centerman, given that Bjugstad will continue improving on the season he had this year as a healthy number 1 centerman.
I think a 1A, 1B with those two big boys, and you wonder then, is it the next year? I mean, right now, combined, they're at 39 goals. Are they good for 50 combined next year?
Yeah.
More?
Yeah. No, it's but like I said earlier in the broadcast, you were with us at the top of the broadcast. The important thing to understand is that there's about 75% of the teams that are in playoff position come Thanksgiving are in playoff position now. So that's where the big difference I see will come. Panthers going to get a power play.
Yeah, you didn't even think that there'd be a call, so,
How could they possibly interrupt my comments? But anyway, the beginning of the season with not a new team, but a team that Gerard Gallant and coaching staff's more familiar with.
42 is for high sticking.
Could bode very, very well for the Florida Panthers to get that strong start that get teams in playoff positions early.
Speaking of playoffs and Bruins make it, Brett Connolly is not doing himself any favors by taking 2 penalties in this ultra-important game. The 2 Panther power plays on calls by him, and careless as he tries to play for Coach Claude Julien. What a great coach he's been. 8th year in Boston. Of course, won a Stanley Cup. And only Mike Babcock in the NHL has been with his team longer. 10 years for Babcock with the Red Wings. 2 more than Claude Julien. So power play for the Panthers. Can they respond? They get a call here and have an opportunity to answer back.
You talk about Jack Adams trophy candidates for this year for the best coach of the year. And most everybody that I listen to have 8 or 9 or 10 candidates at times. Julien can certainly be one of them. And I'll tell you why. He's got his team in a playoff position, yet the team has scored almost half a goal less per game.
I'll tell you this, I think
they have struggled terribly offensively, yet he's figured out a way, line juggling, defense getting hurt, still to have his team competitive.
Well, he's got the goaltender. I'm not taking anything away from him, but I'll say this. The Ottawa Senators make the playoffs. How do you not give it to Dave Cameron, who took over middle of the season?
I don't like that anymore, and I'll tell you why. I saw Patrick Roy win it. I saw McLean win it in Ottawa. Listen, it's much tougher, in my view, to take a very good team and make them better.
Here comes Barkov, and he scores! Barkov on the power play beats Rask.
There's that shoot-first mentality that we've all been waiting for, and that will get him to the 20 goals without a doubt next year. Alexander Barkov had the pass. There's no doubt that Rask had an idea that it was going to be a 2-on-1. Little lazy play, misread by the Boston Bruins defenders, particularly Seidenberg on the far side, who ended up getting, there he is, trying to get back, trying to do double duty as Seidenberg, and taking advantage of having the stick towards the center of the ice. Barkov finds a 5-hole.
And for Jaromir Jagr, that's point number 1,799. Barkov with his 16th goal of the year, and Jagr is now all alone in 4th place on the NHL all-time points list. He breaks the tie with Ron Francis, and he is 1 point away from getting 1,800. Only 3 others have done it. In 3rd place, next up for Jagr, Gordie Howe on that list at 1,850. Unreal.
Gordie Howe played 26 years in the NHL.
So how about this? Yager with the assist, and the two 19-year-olds, the others on the score sheet. Barkov gets the goal, and Ekblad gets the other helper.
That's why Yager wants to come back.
I mean, combined, Yager still has 5 years on Barkov and Ekblad.
Not 5.
Yeah.
19 and 20. 19 and 19, 38. That's
yeah.
right, 43, you got it.
Amazing. So the Panthers get a call, get a power play, and respond to the Bruins power play goal.
Yep, quick response. Has been important all season long.
Quality hockey game here tonight. Mitchell shoots, it just goes wide.
Boy's got a stick on it too.
Well, Rask was mad at himself at Barkov's goal. You saw the frustration after it got through him. Here's Boys for Jokinen. Super shift right after the goal. Bergeron lost the stick. Ekblad walks in, knocked down in front, and Rask will hold it.
Florida's starting to look like they're loving it right now. They're having a little fun. That's why, there's no doubt. The Panthers don't want to give this up. Boston, if you're going to win it, you're going to have to earn it big time. I don't know if that puck got all the way through, but this kid has shown certainly a propensity to get the puck through to the net that did not get through to Rask, as you saw us hit a defenseman in front. But Panarin Ekblad, boy, from midway through the season, he's been teaching the older defensemen how to swing left, right, and get that puck through in the offensive zone.
Yager gave away from the bench as they announced him with his 1,799th point, all alone in fourth place now. And Yager playing his 19th game with the Panthers. He's got 15 points. He's got 10 in his last 11. As the period winds down, the Bruins break in. Eriksson for Seidenberg. The shot is blocked. Sean Thornton will take away. And Thornton throws it all the way over the line. Knocked down by McKenzie. And he speeds after it. McKenzie for Ekblad. And the shot goes wide. Big carom off the end boards. Thornton along with Upshaw. Well, they have been good in this game, this line. And the period will come to an end. They exchange power play goals. Bergeron and Barkov, and we'll go to the third even.
Well, it is even. It's hard to make predictions, even if you look back at the statistics of these two teams when tied after two periods. Forget all that. I think the pendulum has swung. The emotion is in favor of the Florida Panthers, and they have a reason to have a solid 20 minutes, meaning win 20, win the game, take down the team that possibly has been most responsible for taking you out of the playoffs.
Little revenge possible for the Florida Panthers tonight. We'll get to the third, but first, our second intermission. And Drew, the Panthers got a goal in the second. Alexander Barkov set up by Jaromir Jagr, is now fourth all-time in points. And Denny's 1 point away from 1,800. Only 3 players in history have 1,800. Gretzky, Messier, Howe. He's really in some exclusive company.
Do you think that will mean that Jagr will become a Hall of Famer?
Pencil
I think
him
so, yeah. Pencil it in right now. It's pretty sure. I don't even know. They might at this time do one of they've done it in a rare situation and then let him go in the Hall of Fame right away.
Yeah.
And not wait the 3 years.
Unbelievable. Since he got here to Florida, Jagr has come up with 15 points in 19 games. Barkov a point a game over the last month or so. And there's a look at all the numbers for Jagr with the assist. He's 1 away from tying Adam Oates. And tonight with the game, he ties Alex Delvecchio for 11th all-time. He'll pass him, presumably on Saturday, as long as he plays. And see the power play numbers there, a goal away from Gretzky.
Has there been any talk about the Czech Republic? And that's where the World Championships are right now in Prague.
Well, he's mentioned it.
And he's mentioned that he wants to play. I don't know if there's been any talk about him joining. I know Kulikov is going to go and join the Russian team, something he's very happy about. Very big pride thing for European players to play in that World Championships.
And the pride factor for the Panthers, who've been resilient all year, an impressive showing here tonight against the Boston team that really needs to win this game. And the Panthers have really taken over play since the opening minutes. Bolin Jammed up by Chara, and Soderberg takes away. As the first 3 games have been, it is tight in the third period between these two teams. Boston won a 2-1 overtime game. Panthers won a 2-1 shootout. Then the big win by Boston, 3-2 with 2 in the third. 10 days ago in Boston. Loose in front. The backhand by Kelly is stopped. Huberdeau under pressure. You know, Boston needs it. They're going to bring it here in the third.
Well, you can see now they know it's a 3-0 lead in Madison Square Gardens for the Ottawa Senators. Time in the Boston Bruins have got to be thinking, let's try and get a point in this game, if not more.
Jagr puts it in front, but Huberdeau couldn't get a shot off. Here comes Marchand the other way. Each team with 1 game left, the Bruins and the Senators. Boston will be across the state against Tampa Saturday night. Chara held it in. Kicked out by Luongo. Huberdeau right on the tape for Jagr. Barkov jumping up. Barkov's got it. Barkov chases. Taken out by Trotman. Clear to center. Petrovic stepped up and gives to Jagr again. It's Barkov at the blue line. Checked and stolen by Smith. Krejci. Brandon Peary slowed down at center ice. Panthers and Devils, the season finale Saturday here at the BB&T Center at 7 o'clock on Fan Appreciation Night. Lots of giveaways in the building. Jimmy Hayes, stolen by Connolly, though. Panthers have had 2 power plays in the game, both on penalties by Brett Connolly, who they got from Tampa at the deadline. And they cashed in on the second one, the Barkov goal, answering Bergeron's power play goal in the second. Ekblad out, back at his own zone. Apologize for our microphones down there on the ice, picking up the live action for the young folks watching. Campbell and Ekblad able to flip it in. Scotty Upshall putting the pressure on Bartkowski. And Upshall steals it from him. Sets up Ekblad for the slap shot, and Tuukka Rask will hold it.
Now, Tuukka Rask is really the only hope for this hockey team to be able to, try and win the next couple of games. I mean, Rask, has he been overplayed? Well, maybe, maybe not. This is his 10th game, a consecutive game he's played in. Tuukka Rask was pulled in 2 of those games because of performance not great at that time. So a lot of people had some worries. He did talk about having headache problems at one time. And, of course, the backup goaltender, Svedberg, has only played in 13 games. So Boston Bruins have got to go with Rask.
Here's a one-timer that just misses. Boy, what a setup there. Spooner for Pasternak, the 18-year-old who can really shoot the puck. Pasternak again. Kicked out by Luongo. The rebound for Spooner. And Luongo's able to cover. Boy, those 2 young players, Spooner and Pasternak. And then Luongo having some words there with Lucic in front.
Well, if you remember the game in Boston where it really did a lot of damage to the Florida Panthers, it was that Pasternak, Spooner, and Lucic line that every one of those guys got 2 points in the third period to be able to beat the Panthers. But watch what happens here. This is all reaction. Look at this. Boom, just kicks out that left leg. Roberto Luongo had no way of knowing where that puck was going to go after the deflection. Just pure athleticism.
Luongo's been super tonight. Bruins had 10 shots in the opening 8 minutes of the game. They really came out strong. Luongo made the saves. Again, the Panthers down to 5 defensemen. They lost the services of Eric Goodbranson in the first. Jagr gets the pass from Barkov. Jagr pulls up. Cross ice, gets it through to Kulikov, who shoots. Saved by Rask. Barkov battling. Flips it up to the point from his knees. What a play. Campbell with a spin. Campbell puts it in front, deflected. Jagr and Huberdeau at it again. Barkov gets a piece of it. Boy, not only are they productive, Denny, but are they fun to watch.
That's because they're having fun, Goldie. I mean, you can't play sports at a level like this.
Boland is in with a chance on the backhand, but it's blocked away.
Yeah, I'll just answer first. You've got to have the talent, but the secondary one is you've got to play for fun.
Huberdeau on the backhand, score! Huberdeau! What a shot!
And you've got to be up unpredictable.
He ties his career high with his 14th.
Jonathan Huberdeau had everybody in the building wondering what he was going to do. The last thing that I thought he was going to do is shoot the puck. And there he put it. That's what makes a player learn from past mistakes, or maybe I'm not shooting the puck enough. Well, you're in a position right there where he shot the puck at the net, and he got Tuukka Rask totally out of position. Tuukka Rask was not expecting the shot, nor was anybody else.
Well, I know where they're loving Jonathan Huberdeau right now. That's in Ottawa. He's given the Panthers the lead on the Bruins.
What a backhand. How much mustard did he get on that? And how much, there was no room to put that puck. That was almost from the goal line, but that backhand had some heat on it.
And, you know, that's one, Billy. We haven't seen that of Huberdeau, that backhand.
I've never seen that play.
That's
never.
new.
You know, he's typically looking for the pass. And maybe it's the fact that his line mates weren't on with him. Bolin was on the ice for Barkov, so there had been a line change. Maybe that had something to do with the decision, because Bolin was driving for the net. But Huberdeau elected to pass, and his decision caught Rask totally off guard.
Another assist for Jagr. That's career point number 1,800. The only three that have reached that, Gretzky, Messier, and Gordie Howe. And Jagr times Adam Oates for 6th all-time in assists. He just continues to do a job as a Florida Panther. Jagr 16th point in his 19 games wearing a Panther jersey.
Only player in the NHL that shoots the puck on the backhand like that to me is Sidney Crosby.
Yeah, he's got some velocity on it.
Not comparative, but that's, you've seen Crosby do it like that, but I mean, it's one thing to shoot the puck on your backhand, but there's another thing to shoot it with that much velocity and that much accuracy. That is so hard to do.
Connolly puts it in front. It goes wide off Talbot's stick. And now the Bruins try to get some pressure, but McQuaid couldn't play it cleanly. So since the trade of Jagr, it's been about a quarter of a season, 20 games, and Jonathan Huberdeau is at a point a game. What a finish to the season for Huberdeau. And keep this in mind, the 14 goals this year are all 5-on-5 goals for Huberdeau, all even strength.
Well, that's the point. It's unbelievable what can happen next year. Now, Huberdeau, he saw where Bolin's coming to the net. You'll see Bolin coming in. So that also tells you there's been a line change. So his regular line mates are not there. And Huberdeau, look, you can see the vision now. This is a great camera angle. He doesn't have a lot of places to go, and he does what a pro should do, get the puck to the net. We have not seen that all season long. Surprised the heck out of me that he shot it. But we're seeing that backhand. Now you know he's got another tool in the arsenal.
Actually banked it off the head. It hit the mask of Tuukka Rask on the side and then went in the net.
I thought Tuukka had a big, big head when I saw him in the dressing room in Boston.
Rask in his career, 12-1-1 against the Panthers. Huberdeau had 14 goals in that rookie year, the lockout-shortened season. Had a tough go of it last year, but particularly in the second half of the season, he has really come on and finishing strong. It's 10 of his last 8 games as far as the points. This puck deflects out of play with 13:41 to go. Jonathan Huberdeau, the 21-year-old, gives the Panthers the lead on the Bruins in the third. Well, the Panthers have come back from a 1-goal down deficit, and they've scored 2. And Jaromir Jagr is assisted on both, and Billy Lindsay has a good furry friend of his.
I'm celebrating down here with Stanley. We got things going, right, Stanley? High five, right? He likes Jaromir Jagr, but Stanley and everyone here enjoying Jaromir Jagr. The numbers just keep rolling for him. 45 points on the year, 2 assists tonight. He moved ahead around Francis for 4th on the all-time scoring list. Making history, 1,800 career points. Passes Ron Francis for 4th all-time. He is 1 power play goal away from tying Wayne Gretzky for 14th. 1,079 career assists. Ties Adam Oates for 6th all-time. And 1,549 games ties Alex Delvecchio for 11th. Those are just numbers that are mind-boggling to me. And what he's able to do at the age of 43, doesn't seem to have lost much over the years. The hands are still there. He's maybe lost a step as far as skating goes, but boy, is it fun to root for him and have him on your team.
Well, he says that he hasn't lost a step. Everybody else has gotten a little faster. I watched him during warm-up. This is about detail.
Here they come again. Huberdeau in front, shoots, and it goes wide. He looked off the pass to Jágr and just let it rip.
He lines up 4 or 5 sticks on the bench during warm-up, and then goes around, handles the puck, shoots the puck with each and every one of those sticks before he makes a commitment to the one that has the best feel for the night. Paying attention to detail.
And it's funny, he's always the last one to come out for warm-up. And every time I'm down there doing waiting for my interview on the bench for the Panthers Live pregame, every single game, there is a smile, and a big one on Jágr's face when he comes out there.
Now, he also goes out in his shorts and his skates an hour and a half before warm-up, just to kind of get a little feel of his skates and the ice. That's attention to detail. That is why these guys are able to accomplish a lot of what they've done.
Well, the Panthers eliminated here by game 81. He's certainly playing like a player. And this is a big game. He's been super again tonight with 2 assists. Bergeron floats it over the Panther line. Riley Smith controls for the Panthers. Ottawa Senators already won their game. Right now, they're 2 points ahead of the Bruins in the race for the final spot. Jokinen centering feed, boys. Couldn't get a shot off. Picked up by Bolland, who shoots, saved by Rask. Rebound, UC Jokinen couldn't tee it up off the feed from Boys. They get it back to the point, Willie Mitchell. Senators actually right now have actually passed the Pittsburgh Penguins as well, who have 96 points. In front, Boys scores! And Brad Boys makes it 3-1.
You know, we've seen so much of the Florida Panthers. Again, I want to bring it back to the keys. How about tenacity? Does that work for you? The Florida Panthers have shown speed throughout this game. The tenacity is what you see right here. Veteran defenseman and captain Willie Mitchell going in to get the puck, and then it's just a bang-bang play. That is the kind of hockey the Florida Panthers have played throughout the year. Maybe not enough of it, but you know what? They are doing as Coach Gallant wanted them to do. If Boston's going to beat us tonight, make them earn it. Now it's a 2-goal lead for the home team, Florida Panthers.
They've gotten contributions from everywhere. Barkov, Huberdeau, Boys. Jágr with a couple of points, and each of the 3 Panther goals, the second assist has gone to a defenseman. This time it's Willie Mitchell. And the Panthers, as you mentioned earlier, Denny, they've given Roberto Luongo 3 goals now to work with.
There you go. That's a whole different ball of wax. And the fact that they really became dominant early.
Here they come again, and Peary is in position. He fires away, and Rask able to make the save. Boy, what an effort tonight by the Panthers.
You know, I was thinking of Brandon Peary earlier today when I'm watching part of the Masters, and Ben Crenshaw is there. Talking to Ben Crenshaw, and he said, he was asked, what do you like about golf now? He says, you know, I enjoy golf now more than ever. And when asked why, his answer was very simple. I love to watch young men become much better athletes. And we're watching that now with Brendan Peary. We're watching that now with Huberdeau and Barkov. I mean, it really is a joy for Hall of Famers, great professionals like Ben Crenshaw, to watch young players develop. One of the bonuses we've got right here in South Florida.
It was interesting, Gerard Gallant meeting with the media this morning, talking about it as a game where, you know, we're on the outside looking in, and we're going to play it and play it well and do what we've done all year, and they are. And then Gerard Gallant, I'm not going to say smugly because he's never smug at all, but very confidently said, and when we make it, we're going to make it for a long time. And I thought that was a great comment from Gerard Gallant, the first-year Panthers coach, this morning.
Well, he's really been a terrific mentor, I think, for the young players this year. high stick is being called on that whistle. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that he wasn't berating anybody, he wasn't pointing fingers, and he let the players, and that, of course, is great credit to management, bringing the leadership. But when I talked to Brendan Peary this morning, he talked about the leadership of this hockey team. How when things are not good, they seem to step up. Guys like Thornton, guys like Kopecky, and obviously Willie Mitchell, and Bolin, and McKenzie, that is a key ingredient to helping develop young players, because you better accept and understand how to lose, because you're going to lose. That's the only way to learn how to win.
And the coach, you have to have enough respect to let those guys kind of patrol the locker room on their own, and Gerard Gallant just does a fabulous job of that.
The best way to get a message across, otherwise that dressing room gets awfully stale, and you hear the term, "Oh, they stopped listening." Well, I don't see that happening anytime soon in this Florida Panther dressing room, and the addition of Jágr, well, what more can we say about it?
Steal at the blue line by Kelly. Swings back. Tries to get it in front. Tipped away by Huberdeau on the back check. Soderberg now. For Trotman up high. Takes the shot and deflects into the corner. This is desperation time for the Bruins now, who currently are out of a playoff spot. They're down 2 with less than 10 to go. Panthers trying to serve up a little revenge, because it was the Bruins 10 days ago as their offside, who in effect ended the Panthers' playoff hopes. Here in the third, Brad Boyes would add to the lead. It's 3-1 Florida. 2 goals in a little more than 4 minutes in the third. The second one by Brad Boyes have turned a 1-1 game, and with 3-1 Panther lead. And let's take a look at Potvin's keys to the game as presented at the top of the telecast.
Well, the fact is speed is so important to the Florida Panthers, and I think I really knocked that one out of the ballpark. No doubt about it. The Florida Panthers controlling the neutral zone with their speed, creating odd man rushes, and the tenacity. How can you not say that is the Panther middle name? They brought it, and the tenacity of Captain Willie Mitchell.
You're not sick anymore.
Pitching,
You got down. There you go.
Pinching in on the play like a good defenseman should, to set up the Bolin to Boyes for his 14th.
You had 3 days lying around trying to get better to think of these keys. Studied hard. Shows you what preparation does when you study for a couple of days, huh, Denny?
Yeah,
Well, something's got to give, Lindsay, for next year, because we cannot allow Potvin to continue to present the keys and then grade himself on the keys. It's just no good.
Well, I will tell you.
I think I'm on the money here. I'm 100% right there. Come on.
I was never better than this play.
Pretty good tonight, though. You're on the money.
Must have been great going to school.
I will tell you one thing you're right about, Billy. I was spending 3 days in bed. Oh, my.
Here's the aforementioned Willie Mitchell shooting it. Pinballs out in front. Boyes is stopped. Boyes throws it in front again.
How do you like that last little play? That's that flat puck play. Just dump those little things right in front of the net. Create confusion.
So nice to see the Panthers bounce back after that emotional loss, being eliminated from the playoffs. They came out flat against Montreal, but 3 days off, and we got the real Panthers back, and that's exactly what you would expect.
Well, you guys called it, too, after that game Sunday against Montreal. You said, hey, a tough game to play. You're eliminated 24 hours ago. And the next game, you expected a better effort. And look at that effort. Roberto Luongo, the big glove save, and he takes a look at Brett Connolly.
Flashing the leather. Time for our ADT defensive play of the game. Willie Mitchell leads the Panthers in block shots. Comes out and just takes it up high. It stung him a little bit. But Mitchell on the year had 140 block shots coming into this game. Adding that total, and it takes a lot of guts, guys, to lay down and block shots like that in this league. But that's our ADT defensive play of the game, and the Panther captain has had a really strong outing.
Remember, they're down to 5 defensemen as well, since they lost Goodbranson in the first period to an upper body injury.
Denny, how much has that changed over the years, shot blocking? It's become an art form.
No, I mean, you might have one guy that was good at it on a particular team. I'm talking back, even the 70s, 80s, probably the early 90s when you started, Billy. You had 1 or 2 guys. Now everybody's asked to do it, even the forwards, so you can better speak to that end.
Goaltender was making $6-7 million bucks. That's his job all night, man.
That's what I always said.
Every player does it now. They know how to do it, and they get in the shooting lanes, and they make it look easy, but it takes a lot of guts.
Ooh, a shot there, and Luongo made a save. Boy, that changed direction, and the Bruins are throwing everything at the net now. I mean, it is desperation time for them. The Panthers fight it off, and Brandon Peary gets the center. It's chipped in, and Trocheck, the first man on the puck. Scooped up by Jimmy Hayes. Sets up Peary for a shot, just went wide. And Lucic throws it cross ice. 8 minutes to go now.
You know, this is what you've liked about the Florida Panthers when they played well. They seem relentless. One line goes over the boards, plays hard. The second line goes out and plays exactly the same way.
Offside on the Bruins here. They were down 1-0. Barkov tied it late in the second. Huberdeau and Boys have scored here in the third.
And what a tribute. What a tribute tonight for Chris Moody, the equipment manager, playing or working his 1,000th game in the NHL. You know, and everybody was wearing that hat at the beginning of a hockey game. Chris Moody, one of the greats, and certainly recognized by the teammates. That's a wonderful thing. They are held in high esteem by the managers, the equipment managers, trainers, Zanobi, and South, and Frosty as well. Everybody doing their part to help these guys get on the ice every day.
Soderberg puts one right in front, cut off by McKenzie. He goes off the glass, gets it all the way down the ice. Upshaw hustling back. Oh, they'll say Bartkowski just won the foot race. And it's icing, and Scotty Upshaw is red hot. That kind of tells you all you need to know about this Panther team. Up by 2. They're no longer in the race, and Scotty Upshaw breaks his stick because he doesn't get the call on the icing.
Well, there's interference, first of all.
It was close.
Yeah.
Here's a good look.
You know, I don't mind this, and I've said this before. You know, you really want to be able to look at this as, why is there a new rule? And it's there to protect the players.
Now, if there is no new rule, imagine the collision with those 4 right on that play.
Exactly. Very good play. Exactly.
Approaching 7 minutes left. Again tonight, 2 assists for Jaromir Jagr. He becomes just the 4th NHLer in history to get to 1,800 points, along with Gretzky, Messier, and Howe. Krejci controls, feeds the point. Hammered off the end boards for Marchand. Marchand turns in front, shoots and scores! And it's a 1-goal game now. Boy, he scores some big goals, doesn't he?
Well, I'll tell you what, he leads the team with 5 game-winning goals coming into tonight. Hasn't scored much in the last 15 games. I think he's got 1 goal in the last 15 games. But Brad Marchand is a guy that has hurt the Florida Panthers. He has scored in almost every game these two teams have met this season, and this is a big goal because now it gives the Florida Panthers something to think about. It dwindles their league down to 1 goal, and there's still 6:45 remaining in the third period.
Look at him. He's not ready to go yet, is he?
Denny Yen scored in 15 games, not once. That's his first goal in 16 games.
That is the first goal. I figured it was. I heard you earlier make that comment, Billy, in 15 games, long time, but amazing. You know, he really is a battler.
He's a champion. He's not going to go quietly. 1-goal game as Barkov carries in. Lucic stolen away. Huberdeau to Kulikov and back again. Jagr gives chase with Chara. Chara goes down. Spooner, though, finds an open man. And icing call here on Boston. Right now, they are 2 points behind in the playoff race, and they need at least a point badly, do the Bruins. Panthers trying to hold them off.
Well, this is exactly what the Bruins knew coming into this period. Obviously, they knew what was going on at Madison Square Garden. They needed to make a push. Remember, they made that similar kind of push in Boston a week ago. The loss that was devastating to the Florida Panthers, scoring late in the game, not allowing the Panthers even to get 1 point to keep pace. The Bruins are going to try and do the same thing here. This another big part of the learning process for the Florida Panthers. How do you win this game against a team like the Boston Bruins, Stanley Cup winner, so many veterans that have been in this situation many times before?
Krejci's one of them, but a nice poke check there by Brian Campbell. Here comes Upshall the other way. 2 Bruins close on him, so he gets it deep and goes off for a change. McKenzie bangs with Marchand, who just scored to get it to a 1-goal game. Marchand carries. Puts it out in front, deflects and comes to center. And Marchand got hit in behind the play. He's got to hurry up and clear the zone. You see him there skating out of your screen as Dave Bolin controls. Bolin's lead pass, look out, knocked down there to clean it up was Kulikov. And stolen again at the blue line by Soderberg. So the Bruins now making a push. Jokinen clears the zone. Jimmy Hayes after it. Hayes has it. Hayes slows down and doesn't get a shot away. Now he's got a chance. Hayes scores! Against the hometown team, Hayes makes it 4-2.
Jimmy Hayes was given a second chance at life. Never got the shot off early, but look at the forecheck right here. Now the play is, it's off his stick, and take a look at that irresponsible play, really, by Seidenberg, the veteran defenseman. A little back pass, 5 feet inside your own blue line. That is such a no-no that a veteran like Seidenberg should know better than that. That little back pass was intercepted, and Jimmy Hayes was not going to be tested too often before he was able to put it past Rask. So that's a terrible mistake by veteran defenseman Seidenberg, and the Panthers have gotten that 2-goal lead again.
Boy, 4 goals for the Panthers against the Bruins. It has been years since the Panthers have scored this many, and Tuukka Rask, not only is he 12-1-1 against the Panthers, but his goals against is about 1. And they have put 4 behind him here. Here's a shot Luongo fights off. And a Hayes goal, and you talk about learning how to win games like this.
Yep.
Scoring helps, doesn't it?
That's the exact point. Make a mistake, make them pay for it. And that was a sheer mistake. Not responsible enough in your own zone with a puck, and Hayes did make him pay for it. And Hayes now have 19 goals. What is that discussion about 20 goal scorers?
10 Panthers with points in the game tonight. And they're back ahead by 2 against the desperate Boston Bruins, who will lose the fate in their own hands if they lose this game. Icing here on the Panthers.
You know, a lot of work coming back, and this is where, you know, you really have to be very conscious, and I know Seidenberg is, but once Jimmy Hayes gets the puck, he's looking, and you notice right over there on the far side is Bolin. I mean, Rask also knows that Bolin is there. That's what a turnover does. It leaves you totally naked. The fact is, you got 2 guys all alone in front of Rask.
Bruins have pulled the goaltender. Gerard Gallant's pointing to it.
Goal number 20 for Jimmy Hayes.
Oh, you're calling it into the empty net. Okay.
That's what I'm going for.
Well, the Bruins need it badly, so Claude Julien, with 3:35 to go, pulls the tender. Chara's shot is blocked. Oh, Hayes almost made you look smart there. Hayes is out in front. He almost made you look smart again.
He's trying. He knows he wants it.
They're all looking for him. That
line
they have
has
another chance.
Connolly darts in. Jokinen, who with the assist on the last goal. The 300th of his career for UC Jokinen. Lucic. Chara. Cross ice pass. Boys right on the point man. It comes in front. Ocean Luongo's blue paint. He's trying to find it. And it stays out of the net. They were hacking away. Pasternak. Stolen by Bolin. And this puck deflected, so no penalty. It goes out of play. More pushing and shoving there. As Lucic now is going after Petrovic.
Yeah, well, you know why. I mean, that's going after the guy that stood up to his defenseman, McQuaid, a little earlier.
And look at the cool, calm 23-year-old Petrovic. Jimmy Hayes. Big goal here in the third. Makes it a 2-goal lead.
Murray, Florida Panthers, Barkov had a 2-on-1. He just let it go 5-hole. Huberdeau, mastery of the backhand. Very seldom shot that we've seen from him. Good play by defenseman Mitchell. End result, Bolin the boys. And then with a 3-1 lead, the Boston Bruins, Marchand comes back to make it 3-2. Oh, a turnaround in the defensive zone. Hayes picks it up and gives the Florida Panthers another 2-goal lead. That's where we are. 4-2 Florida Panthers. There you see the shots on goal. Tuukka Rask, the victim, has allowed goals on shot number 23, 25, and 28.
Maybe a bit tired. He's played a lot of hockey. They played last night in Washington. He's back on the ice now with a draw in the neutral zone. So the Bruins with 5 skaters. Rask in goal.
Pretty smooth by our man LeBeau to check that stat out.
And here's Rask at his own blue line having to play it. And we get a whistle.
Too many men on the ice. Rask went to the bench. The player jumped.
Wow, what a mistake by the Bruins. The extra skater came on before Rask could actually get off the ice because he had to come and play the puck. And Claude Julien
Penalty, bench minor, too many men on the ice.
is now going to have to pull Rask just to get it even.
Well, this is where top of the screen, Rask is coming off, but then he comes back on. So now you count the bodies. 3 on the right side and 3 on the left side. You see that, the white jerseys. You can't have 6 skaters on the ice.
How about Kelly Sutherland? The ref pointed back at the bench. He didn't make the call. It was the linesman on the far side that made the call. That was strange to me.
We've seen a lot of that this year, haven't we? And I don't think Rask had a choice there. The angle of that puck, if he just let it go, it may have trickled into the net at that angle it was going at. So here we go. It's 5-on-4 for the Panthers. And the Bruins have to send someone to the penalty box. They were slow doing that. Ottawa has won its game.
Yeah, I'm wondering.
And the Bruins now are 9th in the Eastern Conference. And the Panthers are trying to close it out. And a lot of folks around North America right now watching this are rooting for Florida. Ekblad hammers one. Save Rask. Bolin on the rebound. Couldn't stuff it in. And look out. Marchand trying to run the other way, but Ekblad. What a rookie year he's had.
Look at this. They're trying to get Rask's attention. He's like nowhere. He's not even thinking.
He's out, and it's...
Yeah, they had to bang the boards to get his attention. He was lying on his stomach. That is a sense that he has just given it up.
Empty net. 5-on-5 skaters now with the Panthers on the power play. Less than 2 minutes to go. Ekblad throws it over the line. It deflected. Never got to the empty cage. Pasternak.
Here comes Jimmy Hayes.
Ekblad controls for the Panthers. Calmly goes off the glass. Krejci gloves it down. Climbs to the slot. Feeds it back. Hayes with a steal. Hayes has an empty net. Just wide. Trocheck. It's a 3-on-1 with the net empty, but they couldn't get a clean pass.
Why did he go behind the net?
They had Peary alone in front. And boy, oh boy, just an errant pass, so they would have been able to bang that one in. Trocheck with a steal. Shovels it ahead. Too far for Hayes. They wave off the icing. Good hustle by Jimmy Hayes.
Trocheck is trying his darndest to get Jimmy Hayes the puck.
Trying to get him 20 on the year, but less than a minute to go. Shot here, deflected, and it goes wide. Trotman shoots and hit the post. And Brandon Peary shovels it up the wall. Tries again and gets it to center. Hayes trying to get it back to him. Zdeno Chara picked it off. And then Peary took down Chara. Here comes Spooner. Drop for Soderberg. He misses high. The Bruins have the extra skater now as the penalty is over. The net is still empty. Willie Mitchell hammers one. It's blocked. Mitchell again, and it's offside on the Panthers. But time is running out on the Boston Bruins with 26.4 to go.
Well, has anybody ever heard a coach say we got to play 60 minutes of hockey? I think you're watching the Florida Panthers do that. And you know what? To their credit, It had not been, well, I should say, without a criticism, of course, it had not been the hallmark of the Panthers to play the full 60 minutes. They are certainly doing that in this hockey game and having fun.
My man Jimmy Hayes, he had a chance from the red line for goal number 20, the Dorchester, Mass native.
He came excruciatingly close there.
Come on,
Then they try to set him up. There's the Ottawa score. So the Senators now with 97 points. Pittsburgh's got 96. And the Bruins now are at 95, so they don't come back here.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Panthers in good shape. The Bruins will not have the fate in their own hands anymore with one game to go. They would win a tiebreaker with Ottawa, but Ottawa, if this score holds, all they need to do is get a point Saturday in Philadelphia. Now Boston could still possibly pass Pittsburgh.
Yep.
They're only a point behind them, so it's not done for the Bruins, but the fate is no longer in their hands, and they may not get to Saturday night's game in Tampa with a chance. The Bruins...
Montreal won 4-3.
So Detroit got a point?
Got 1 point.
Okay. So they go, the Detroit Red Wings, to 98. And they have clinched their spot because Boston can no longer catch it.
That's right. That would, yep.
24 years in a row for the Red Wings. Took them a while. They get it done. Net is empty again. Rask on the bench.
Jimmy Hayes on the ice again. Just to let you know, his brother Kevin with the New York Rangers has 16 goals.
Saved by Luongo on Eriksson with 20 to go. Another shot. It comes through wide. 15 left. Spooner. The Panthers trying to exact some revenge on the Bruins and get the win in the final seconds here. Spooner again. Time going to run out on Boston. From South Florida to Long Island to Pittsburgh and to Ottawa. They're all cheering the Florida Panthers tonight as Luongo gets the 401st win of his career, tied for 10th all-time.
Well, the Florida Panthers came out and played Panther hockey. They showed the speed. They showed their tenacity. They showed some scoring skills that we had not seen before. The great shot by Barkov to get it started. The terrific backhand by Huberdeau to keep it going. The team play of Willie Mitchell, the veteran, to Bolin, to Boys. And then, of course, the goaltending of Roberto Luongo. 36 shots he faced. Saved 34 of them.
And Jágr goes over 1,800 points in this game. A good night for the Florida Panthers, Drew. They get the win over the Bruins.
An outstanding night, Goldie. The Panthers picking up the victory, and coming up on Panthers Live postgame, we'll have all of the locker room reaction to the Cats' win over the Boston Bruins, plus stats and analysis of this big win, and we'll hear from head coach Gerard Gallant. Goldie, back to you.
Thanks, Drew.
Now, a lot of credit goes to a lot of people. Season's not over. The fans will be relishing another game like this on Saturday as New Jersey comes into town. But already you can get a real sense of where this team is. We can talk about the improvement on the score sheet, the improvement in the standings. But when you see it, it becomes much more valuable.
Now in the top 10 list, number 1.
Luongo tied with Chris Osgood. 10th most wins in NHL history.
That's pretty elite right there.
Billy's buddy, Jimmy Hayes, got that 4th goal at his 19th of the year. But you know the biggest cheer will be for the number 1 star. An all-time great. He's all alone in 4th in points in NHL history. Only 4 have reached the 1,800 mark. Wayne Gretzky, Mark Messier, Gordie Howe, and after tonight's 2-assist game, Jaromir Jágr. And Gerard Gallant, in his first year, has led the Panthers to the biggest improvement in the NHL. And although there won't be playoffs this year for the Cats, they get a very satisfying victory against the team that in effect eliminated them, the Boston Bruins. All the reaction, highlights, and more coming up. Panthers Live postgame after a 4-2 Florida win is next.